Welcome back from that short break. Mr. Ambrose, good day to you and thanks for joining us on the Market Report Show today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's get the ball rolling. I can see the smile on your face. It seems the good is the bullish outing, the flourish outing, the greenish outing on the stock market is rubbing on you. Take us through what has happened. 4 weeks ongoing bullish outing on the stock.
No, we are not surprised that the market is rebounding, and also it's a good thing for Nigeria market after the fear of the tariff trade war on the global economy. That kind of impacted the market negatively, and it put down some index back to almost below 104,000 index. But the thing is that our market has a different fundamental compared to what we see in this mature market, and the earnings that are coming at this period now have proven that our own market fundamental and also sentiment differ from what we are seeing in the market. But yes, economy is an isolation. But I believe that as a trader investor in the Nigerian market, to understand the history of our market, know that the month of April always a mixed market up and down. So most years, the market of April closing negative or time is green. But good is that it opened investor eyes after they have seen the Q1 number of many companies that has the December year-end. There's an insight of what they're doing in their current financial year. Being that that's the first number that comes for the financial year, give an insight what trader investors should do. And that's why I'm not surprised that our numbers that are coming so far in our own market, our beach market and nation. And that's that kind of across the different sector on the exchange. That is that investors are looking over to see this number. As also look at what happened in 2024. Most of the companies they look at how a better payout because of what a better performance. If that trend is on take in 2025, I believe that we're going to see a better market also. But for the month of April, seeing this period and toward the end of the month, when that is the first month, the second quarter, we'll have another month of April, May, and June. So when these numbers are coming and it is expected, we're going to see institutional investors come back to the market because the volume we're seeing on the trading floor of Nigeria stock exchange are relatively coming below what to signal that we are seeing institutional investors in the market. Once that is that good volume, because numbers are already point where we are going, it's not left for us to read the fundamentals of the outcome of the common NPC in the month of May. That's around the May and 20th, May 19 and 20th. To see what is the after seeing that we saw inflation slowing down in the first month of January and February. For that of March, we saw a rebound. That means the kind of inflation has stopped. Let's see how they're going to manage. Or let this month of April start seeing inflation returning back to the southward movement. If that was also kind of trigger them to liberate or rate on change or also a decline. Because most of the market economy already saying that that's what is happening. Most of them are continuing to boost their economy because I tell you, this trade war is giving a challenge to most of the economy like that fiscal authority and monetary to see that how they can look inward and put the economy in a path of recovery and growth so that at the end of the day, the economy can stand. Because if you are looking at the benchmark of what is happening in the foreign market and also trying to move international investors, put the economy to the corner or to a tight corner, it's for a whole detriment. Because we need to make the economy to flow. We need to encourage some industries or sector to provide back so that this mechanic shop able to know who the economy. I think this is what we'll be looking at this time. Now that we are expected to see MPC meeting and also monetary authority, also fiscal authority looking at how they can encourage compete on the exchange. Is it by way of tax? Is it let's see how we can make our economy remain this trajectory of growth. Because I think our growth is still a very slow growth. We have not seen a good growth since almost 5 years now. We're still having a below 4% in a year. That's that. Actually, to go like that. That's what I would say for now.
Exactly. I really love what to put it in the aspect of the growth that we are all looking for. Even though some few days back, IMF downgraded our growth rate less than 3%. But let's also look at the market once again. A lot of analysts are saying that, and this is the kind of numbers. I also read some of the article that you put out, that this is the kind of numbers we have been waiting for. And I will put it to you. Is it the number we have been waiting for? We are still waiting for more of it to come.
No, actually, because the few companies have not released their number, we need more of them. Because for the banking sector, we just saw UP release the first quarter, and that gave us insight what we expect from the banking sector. That was positive. We saw the one that came from Guinea insurance sector. That one was also positive. We saw the one that came from the consumer goods. We saw the life of Nigeria Brewery, reducing their FX loss. We saw the one that came from also the industrial sector or industrial goods. We saw the number that came from from Lafarge, Waco, so that came from Boasman. That's where the market is going because these numbers are business expectation. And the good one that came from the entertainment industry, the hospitality from the Acadia Hotel, that number is also outstanding. I believe that investors look at this number and inform what that situation because I tell you on the short run, on the long run, price feed on what feed on earnings. That means investors, the kind of money they also be putting their money to this number to us because if a company started on a good note and we're not seeing policy in Nigeria going negative to affect them, then maybe this trend we're seeing might be sustained going to the future because every investment they give the future.
Exactly. Very interesting. Every investment look at the future and the numbers are here for us to look at. But another issue we equally need to look at is around this bullish outing of the market. Is this sustainable? Because people need to ask the question. A lot of investors also need to like, is it a bullish outing that can be sustainable all through this second quarter of 2025?
No, I'll tell you that no market will expect the bull to remain in charge for a long time. No, the bull and bear will always struggle to know who dominates the market. But if you are seeing the bull on the gaining ground, for a trader or investor, you have your investment objective that will guide you. Are you greedy in the market? If you are set the target of making 20%, 30%, 15%, if you tell it, but the market is there, the market is not running. And that means you have to know when to go in and when to go. And that's why you must have your trading plan or your investment objective to guide you to know how to play the market at any given time. But I believe that what we are seeing now, period of opportunity for almost 4 to 5 we are seeing at top market. There is going to cash out your profit. If you put back in, you buy because, like I said, numbers don't lie. And when this number, you know what to expect. And when we see China investor coming back to the market might go beyond the 109,650 that I thought for pulling back. When you pull back, I the opportunity for design investor and trader to pick up. And now, credit is recovery. Take your profit and also wait. Those that see that are to go wait and also watch the market trend to see if that trend is sustained. But I tell you that every market has over the world regularity. For Nigeria market, we know that Fridays are days for profit taking. That's a not surprising market pull back today. Also, if you look at today that some market price have done that, it's because of Dangote cement. It's most of the most capitalized stock on the exchange. And when it needs market to catch cool, now that I put back, I see that index I just told already today. I believe that the total of putting for a market because market are touched as high as what 109,000 to 4 billion. But that means for those markets kind of surpassing that level is high. So investors with knowledge and follow your plan.
Exactly.
Don't follow bad. Let your trading plan or your objective guide you in any market you are trading.
I really agree with you. Let your trading plans and numbers guide you. But let's take a critical look at some of the numbers that we have seen. And we saw international bureaus. We saw some of the consumer product companies doing fantastically well. What could have given impetus to their success in this recent bullish outing on the stock market?
For me, I believe that the investors are seeing where prices have the upper potential to go. I call it to go further. And also see that numbers are coming in these companies for the sector you're operating are looking for this. It's time to key. Like I said, investment against the future. If you buy at the right time, none of that are coming. Your price are going up. You can also say but it's a bit for you to identify the trend before it moves is what matters. Like people say that when at the bus stop, once at that bus stop, you see a product that is moving. I need to join that bus and at the right time for remove you leave that bus stop. If you are seeing a stock that's starting, people are not moving, but you now see a sign that the stock is not moving, and you see that factors surrounding that stock is very, very much positive and intact. You jump to that stock and the trend goes up. Say trend is your friend at any given time.
Interesting. But we will not fail to acknowledge the financial sector also. They are doing pretty well. The Access Corp, the GT Holdings, the Fidelity, they are all doing pretty well on the stock market. Take us through. What is gingering all this success of this financial institution on the stock market at this point? Minus the recapitalization exercise they are all carrying out. Is there any other thing that is happening that's making them to be doing fantastically well right now?
We are not surprised because in any environment where we are having a high interest rate, we expect the banks and insurance to do well. And that actually remain above 15, about 17.5%. That is high. And tell you that most of these banks, they are not that ask the good fund to trade either trading bill and consider that trading bill in Nigeria is 364 day is above 18% for many a year. And that trend remains. For me, that is a way to make money. At the same time, most of them also are crypto electronic transfer. Even when you are sleeping, they are making money. And most of them also have developed products that also kind of cashing in for them. For me, the private sector remain the operating economy. On that note, I feel that the post positive number, either when the market is doing the economy is doing well, because that's where all transactions of the economy, both government and private sector, will pass through. That's why I tell you that in the economy, market sector remains the engine of the economy. That means we must, as also CPN also try to make our bank stronger, to put a lot of business to drive the $1 trillion government expectation, $1 trillion economic expectation. That is what it is banks that have the capacity to do. That's why we need to expect that banks to do more business. We're going to expect to see more better number going to the future for the banking sector.
Exactly. Now, talking about the banking sector and beyond the banking sector, the oil sector is also doing pretty well. Well, take us through on what is happening to the oil sector. Although people will say because of their shares, index price is quite high, that's why we don't hear more about them. But take us through what is happening to the oil and gas sector.
No, for me, oil and gas sector, yes, they might say that it's oscillating at this time, but I believe that because most of them are into crude oil business, despite that we're seeing a little pullback in oil, crude oil price international market, but that have impacted their performance. Or even Owando, Teplat, we have seen them, but for those that are into marketing, like Total, like Amares, like Etana, we also see their number looking up. But I believe that until start seeing number from that industry, and speaking now, we have not seen any Q1 from for the oil sector to know that for the 2024 financial year, most of them did well, and also they also rewarded the shareholder. Total big good dividend, that of Ireland also, even Step Flat and constantly big dividend on quarterly basis. So it's a good one. I believe that sector also have potential. But as an investor, you should know when to be, let your investor get guide you. Are you playing defensive so that you are targeting those stocks that are highly capitalized? Are you going to grow your fund? Let all those things guide you to that. Call growth stock or defensive stock. But it depends what is your goal in the market to know where to go. I believe that we should not be in one sector, but sector rotation will continue. No one to leave one sector for the other or to make money. That's the game can play well in space.
Exactly. I agree with you. Now, let's take a look at one of the challenges that have just been shown last week when I went through the report or audited account of some of these major stakeholders of Nigerian stock market. I will discover that unclaimed dividend is still showing a record of over 6 billion naira. What is happening to unclaimed dividends? What is the challenge? Why people cannot claim their dividends from some of these companies?
No, this question, they've asked me in different different situations like this. And I point straight to the registrar in Nigeria. In a mature economy, there's not called registrar. The central system is where they pay their dividend. But these days in Nigeria, because we have find a space for the registrar, they are the one paying for this payment. No dispute they want to give. If CACS has all the details of every trader investor in the Nigeria market, what they pay, from there you pay. You don't need to just come and bring confirmation, come and because when they are putting the account, they have bank account attached to it. When they every detail was given their open account, then the stock broker support submit all those data to CACS, and account is open. That means CACS are it. But most likely that the so-called the research that the money is hanging, your signature in this one. But if I open an account and it's my money, for example, now I can remember, I bought it to a company called CWG. That's already, I never paid it for anything. But the fact that when they pay their straight to my account, that is how to be. And because the registrar is still on this one, that's why we're seeing on claim event. I believe that SEC is doing a wonderful job in that regard, making sure that yes, this claim event is dropped to the minimum figure. But I believe that SEC also to also pay on what on the registrar, or they change the process, the whole process, because college go to come and pay from here and there. After the for me, it's probably cool. I believe that for straight, an easy and paper-free, transaction. Once one open account from the top of the firm, and CSS go there and pay. That's as simple as that. But the dividend is on the high side because the registrar are sitting on some of this money. For me, tech to do more, and I tell that those tech are making all possible arrangements with that this dividend reduce, and also encourage the investors also to that they give right information so that they will front and back. So at times, all these investors also contribute to it when they are giving half information. It affects the registrar or even the CSS to do the right thing. But for me, that is the way to go. As I said, to do more by giving a much order on the registrar that this dividend will drop drastically.
Exactly. I agree with you on that extent because the registrar need to do more. And again, but there is this question someone posed to me the other time that the technologization of this system, whereby the NGX now move to more higher technology impetus in terms of the stock market, also has a way of hindering a lot of people who did not understand that NGS has now moved technology. So what do you think NGS will need to do, or Nigerian stock market need to do, because technology have come in? So a lot of people who are out of that space of that technology, majority of them are the ones suffering from this unpaid dividend or unclaimed dividend. What do you agree with that?
Well, for me, I would say that kudos to technology in our market today. But I think that investors will embrace it because it has made lots of things easier for us. Before now, you can't trade from anywhere. We can trade from your house, even though you are in US, can trade because it's we have technology on our market. And I would say kudos to Oscar and his team when they came on board. No, they put the market in a platform where anybody have access to information at any given time, and that's also encouraged. For investors that are not public technology, yes, they can look at capital firm and make sure that they do the right thing. But I believe that technology has come to help the market and also want to do more and improve it. It's a good thing anywhere in the world. We are able technology to make life easier, and that's the man. Today, as I said earlier, you can trade from anywhere in the world. And before, it's only somebody that can be called to trade for you. For you, once you open an account, you say, I the future, but I'm taking a lot of volume and activities in the market. But we need to do more so that will attract more Nigerians to work to the market. A country of almost 230 million people, less than 15 million in the market. It's an average for tech and NGS, and also a capital market operator. We need to bring people back to this market. That's why proper investment education will also be done by kind of advertising that to set not limit to themselves or anything. Let's partner with other people that can help us give this education to people and bring them back to the market, and they are coming back with knowledge. But knowledge.
Very great. I really agree with you, Ambrose. But before I let you go, let me quickly ask you this. The much talk about MPC meeting is coming on May 19. What are your expectations? Because we have to judge the index of the stock market with whatever CBN will be talking about come May 19. So what are your expectations? What are you guys thinking of in terms of the adjustment of the interest rate and other parameter from CBN?
Now, anywhere in the world, central banks of any economy look at what is happening in their inflation. Because their major role is what price stability, that's the role of any central bank. And when inflation rate is picking up, is on the high side, cost papers are coming, it will be a lot of problem for them to adjust down. But if they see that yes, they are seeing a sign that it's coming down, and when it's consistent drop in inflation can trigger rate cut. But for me, we have seen because of the rebase of the variables of inflation at the beginning of the year, we saw a pullback in inflation in month of January, we saw it in February, but April we saw kind of market inflation coming back. If the month of April we see a slowdown, that will be good. But I tell you that the variables that are also driving this situation is what the fiscal authority and the money can manage. We see that fuel in Nigeria goes up and down. Today you see that fuel is almost 1,000 times come back to 800 naira. So that the camp now is such that let's be stable. And also farmers are not back to the farm. Today I heard my wife saying that she told farm oil business that even in villages, people are not going to the farm to go and cut their farm food because of what insecurity, kidnapping, and all these things. Let's see that all this is addressed so that price of goods start coming down. It's not just only having good growth to the farm. And people don't carry nothing. If they are putting, can carry from the village to the city. But if there is insecurity, people will that means at the time is coming in Nigeria, if they're not taking, there will be no food. Because if farmers are not in the farm, no matter how you bring the quotation for food items down, if people are important, how many will feed? But if people are in the farm, we are the kind of the economy. It also needs economic to grow. But if people are not in the farm, everybody start home. You see that their purchasing power will come down. But I believe that the fiscal authority and the monetary authority will come down to address the issue. But I believe that come May 19 and 20, people see a positive we'll see a slowdown. Let me put that a slowdown in inflation for the month of April. We might see the rate on change or kind of 35 basis points down. But let's what I think. But if we see month of April inflation going higher, likely might see that 5% hike again. Okay, that's it. Yeah.
No, thank you so much, Ambrose. I really appreciate your submission, your perspective, and your analytical, review of what has happened in the Nigerian stock market in the last 2 weeks, particularly with the rising performance of all stock index. Thank you so much, Ambrose.
Thanks for having me.
We hope to have you soon because the market is always open.
No problem at all.
All right now. So enjoy the rest of your day in Lagos. I've been speaking with Ambrose Omodion, operating officer for Invest Data Consulting, one of the traders, analysts on Nigerian stock market. Now, it's help us understand. For majority of the analysts out there now, they are looking at May 19 when the CBN MPC will be meeting, because whatever the MPC will say definitely have an effect on the stock market. But for the last 2 weeks, we are seeing a bullish stock market in Nigeria.